Hi, I'm Tiffany, and today I want to talk with you about something called generosity. Now, if you're like me, when I hear the word generosity, I automatically think of money, giving financially, whether that's at church or a charity, or maybe there's someone in my life that could use a little extra help. And yes, God does call us to be generous in that way. He does call us to give, because at the end of the day, all of what we have anyway is already His. And so when we give it back, we're honoring Him and we're loving other people well. But as I was thinking through living a life of generosity and thinking through this verse in Hebrews, you can pick up with me in chapter 13, verse 16. It says this, "And do not forget to do good and to share with others, for with such sacrifices God is pleased." I was thinking of a different type of generosity, a type that God calls us to as well, and that's being generous with our time. And so I know that all of us have busy lives, and I myself have kids to get to, activities and a job and a marriage and a husband and all these things to juggle on top of friendships and church and all the things that we have in our life. And a lot of that stuff is really good, but sometimes it does have us running from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And what I have found in my own personal life and what I've been convicted of is that although sometimes I can't control my schedule, what I can control is how present I am in the moment. And so recently I went to have lunch with a friend that I hadn't seen in a long time. And I was having a really good time catching up. And then all of a sudden she got a text and something was going on in her life. And then she basically, from that point on, was just super distracted and couldn't really give me her all. And it was in that moment where I realized, how often is that me? How often am I with my kids and I'm either distracted with all the to-do list at the house or I'm on my phone? How often am I in a meeting and I'm trying to squeeze in other work even though I should be present with the people there? Because the reality is if we aren't being present and we do have our phone in our hand, or we're lost in our head, or we're just not paying attention, we truly are not being generous with that person that God has placed right in front of us. And what I know based off of what God has done in my life is that He puts certain people in your path every day for a reason, for a purpose. And so my challenge to us, my challenge to me would be this: when we think of Hebrews 13:16 and leading a life of generosity, don't just think about your money and giving that. Think about your time. How can you be generous with your time today? How can you be generous, whether that's just merely putting your phone down in a conversation so you can give a full attention to a person? What are those little things that you can do in your life to be more generous and more sacrificial with your time? Because ultimately, if we look at the life of Jesus, He was so focused on the people He was with every time He was with them. And so let's do that today, friends. Let's try to be generous with our time and our focus and to love those around us well. Thank you.